We're going to do this.
This podcast is a member of the Red5 Network. For more Red5 Network podcasts and content creators, visit bio.link/Red5.
Hello, friends. Welcome. I know it's June 23rd, but I mean, technically 2 + 3 is 5. So we're doing a special on the Fives book review tonight of The Living Force. And I'm really excited to be joined here in just a few minutes with my fellow Red5 members. And it's going to be a fun night. We're going to change it up a little bit because I'm going to add in a little fun Star Wars Oreo challenge because I've been wanting to do it. For those who are new here, my name is Nicole. I am part of the Red5 Network. Red5 Network also has so many really cool things. Okay, not just like the Red5 Reading Book Club that I am a part of, and On the Fives is part of, is in conjunction with that. I'm getting to know my fellow Red5 members as well as their content creators, but as well, we've got over like 30 some podcasts in our network, and it's really awesome, as well as a Dungeons and Dragons, also known as the Red5 Tavern, that you can check out. So many, many, many things that you can check out at the bio link /Red5. And I am so excited for you all to be here today. Please make sure you hit that like button, smash it, and it's going to be a fun night. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start introducing each of my fellow I have 3 guests tonight. I'm so excited. But I do want to do a quick shout out because we were also supposed to be joined by Use and Abuse, who are also my fellow co-hosts. But they are not available tonight. But I hope that they stay cool. And I hope everyone stays hydrated because it has been super, super hot out. So let me go ahead and get everybody in. All right. Starting up first, we have Andrew Haley. Hello. How are you tonight, Andrew?
Hey, Nicole. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm awesome. Glad that it's finally an 80-degree day and not 101 or 3.
The heat index here was low 100s. It was about.
It's been like that
103,
almost all week. So I needed like a break. I needed a break.
Yeah.
All right. Next, joining us, Spencer, the Dingiston.
Hello.
Hello, Spencer.
Get this party started.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Hope everyone's having a good weekend.
It was my work weekend, but you know what? I am here now, and that makes it all better.
See, it's better that now that we're here,
Yeah,
especially me.
It's always better. And you know who else makes the party better and makes book club even better? And I love it when he goes first. The one and only Mr. Ian. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I love your glasses.
Thank you. I'm glad you noticed them. I was like waiting. I'm like, will anybody notice that I put on white? I was really curious. I'm like, we'll see if anybody notices.
It definitely changes things.
Now the only thing I need to do, I should have had, where's Ro? I would tell him to get me my logo real quick. I'm like, I got to get me a new t-shirt to match my glasses with the new logo that's coming. So anyhow, and I'm trying.
I have a question. Are we Ubaldo list tonight?
That's right. Where is he? Does anybody want to send him a message?
I
think he might want to be a part of what I'm going to do before I do it.
He just said he's running super late. So,
okay. Tell him to join us anyways.
All right. I'll tell him.
Not from his car. If he's driving.
I think he can neither deny nor confirm.
Yeah.
I think he's a little too much like Yaddle on a speeder bike.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, I like that character. Man, I was looking forward to this. So now the question is do I do this now or should I wait until the end? See if he gets here. See maybe if I have a few more people here in the chat.
Yeah, you're giving us a little tease now. So give people a reason to watch. Now.
There you go. There you go. I like that train of thought.
What was the train of thought? I missed it. I was smelling the Oreo.
Give people a reason to watch.
Stay tuned at the end.
What
is Nicole going to get? What color?
Oh,
Light
I
side
don't
or
know.
dark
He
side?
smells
Will it
so
match her
good.
shirt?
It's like
That's
a.
the
I'm
question.
trying for the light side, people. Y'all want me on the dark side,
Your shirt
but I'm
says different.
trying. I am so trying. So. Okay, real quick before we jump in, curiosity kills the cat. Remind me, who did the Oreo challenge already?
I have. I don't have any proof, but I did do it.
Yeah, but you were definitely, yours turned out to be red, correct?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, look behind him.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Spencer is as evil as people think he is, or as he thinks he is.
I don't know. Oreo's told me otherwise. So.
All right. So for those in the chat, I want to real quick do a quick shout out to Brett. So good to see you. Hopefully you'll be joining us soon for maybe our next book club. Hello, Andrew from Science Fictionary. I know
Andrew number one.
Andrew, the other Andrew.
Yeah.
And for Andrew, who's just Oreo challenge at the end, we're going to change it because we're hoping you all will be able to join us. And I'm very curious, what everyone thinks Nicole's going to get. I know what the poll said. Okay, people. And I know what Ian said. And so that's part of the reason why I want Ian here, because I think he might call me out no matter which way I go.
I won't say a word.
So, anywho, should we go ahead and get this party started?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I am doing a quick Twix, retweets and all that jazz. People come visit us.
Absolutely.
All right, just doing that. All right, so here we go. I know I changed it. I was about to say, hey, how's everybody's overall thoughts? Haha, I changed it. I changed it on you guys. See
my
what
mental
happens?
script.
I did. I flipped the script.
Ah.
All right. So actually, this time around, I want to talk about. Well, one, this is an amazing book cover. I just want to make a special note. I really did like it. Minus 2 characters that are missing. Okay, that had a big part in this book, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump into characters that we absolutely loved, characters that we felt a little disjointed. Let's just get into it. Let's get into the thick of it. And please don't all talk at once.
Well, I mean, this is just a question that's almost like, well, where do you begin, right? Because we have so many characters in this. We have we have 12 different characters from the Jedi Council, in addition to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan as a Padawan. And so that's 14 main characters. And I definitely think some were portrayed better than others. I definitely think some got a bit more time than others, but overall, man, there's so many to get into. Something that I really appreciate about this book was that we did get to see a lot from, or maybe not a whole lot, but we got to see more of just characters that barely ever spoke, if they even spoke on screen before. And
that's true.
And some of them stood out to me. There's 2 in particular that stood out to me as far as people that, like in a good way, that stood out to me. One was I actually liked what Ki-Adi-Mundi did. I liked and what the stuff he was saying, and another one was Stacey Tin, the guy with the horns there, and so yeah, I just liked what they did with their characters and having more time to shine.
Let me actually raise a question to everybody here, and if you're in the chat and have read this, I'm very curious about your guys' thoughts too. You're right. We had 12 main characters. That's without Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn. And that does not include any possible dark side, like Palpatine or any of them. Yeah. So how did you guys feel with 12 main characters? Like, do you think it was a good thing? Not so good thing? I mean, what do you guys think?
For me, just really quickly, it kind of, for me, that kind of goes more into the whole writing style of the book.
Right.
And you know, and because he had so many different story you know, corridors going on at the same time, it, you know, some are just more interesting than others, some dragged more than others, but then also I think each and every one did kind of have a moment where it at least tried to stand out. And so some places it worked doing all these different things, and other places it didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't-
because oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I didn't mind it as much because each chapter told us where it was gonna take place. You know, it had the chapter number and then where it was gonna take place. So then in your head you kind of go, okay, I'm about to go read about these two characters. You know, it kind of gives you mentally prepared. You know, going into that. Yeah, like that.
Oh
So
yeah, that was definitely
that helped me out. It
Definitely.
made it not feel so overwhelming.
I
was gonna say that I mean, with 12 main characters, that means you're following at least 12 different storylines. So although, as others have already said, some were more in depth than others, and some of them were more interesting than others. And one of them I found the least interesting actually led to possibly the most interesting place and was possibly the best part of the book. At least for me, it was one of the last couple chapters.
Do you want to talk about that? You can.
Palpatine. Darth Maul. I don't know if we're talking spoilers here.
Here we go. Here we go.
Are we talking spoilers? Does everyone know?
Now we are.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I was just waiting right before Palpatine said, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to him. I was thinking, oh my God, Darth Maul is there, because I'm thinking, okay, so he's going to kill him, obviously, this poor caretaker guy. But I thought, is he going to like force choke him from across the galaxy? Like we've seen Snoke do that. But then I was like, oh my God, Darth Maul standing behind him, and because he talked about an agent, and his agent would pick up the Jedi materials. And I just thought so I'm listening to the audio version. I thought there was going to be a sudden ignition, the sound of the ignition of a lightsaber going through his chest.
Yes.
And that would have been cool. They didn't do that, but that would have been cool. As much as I'm a pacifist, that still would have been cool. But yeah, okay, so talking just about that slightly. I was thinking initially when Eth Koth was off on his inventory storyline, you know, searching for these lost Jedi materials, I thought at first, okay, this is probably going to go somewhere and, you know, be linked to some bigger thing. But the more the story progressed and the more bored I got, I forgot about that. I just thought, okay. And then when that led to him linking up with Anissa, I think her name was, but that person who was working for one of the gangs, and she, you know, having that connection allowed them to stop the majority of all the pirate gang's plans. I thought that was the point of that storyline, but to have it then turn out that these missing Jedi techs were part of Palpatine's plan, I thought that was awesome. It was I thought that was a great twist, something completely unexpected for me, and one of the best parts of the book. But I got away from your initial question about
Oh, no,
characters.
you're fine. We're talking about characters and stuff right now. No, you're still good. We're in the realm. We're in the galaxy of it. We're still good. All right, you
But
guys.
I do agree. This more deals with. I agree with Spencer. This more deals with kind of the writing style that we'll talk about.
Oh, yeah.
All the characters.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I was just really curious while we're kind of here talking about it, like just to see. Because I know for me, I just felt like it was finding the balance there. It was good and sometimes it wasn't. And it was just kind of, a little bit back and forth. So, all right. So now, who did you guys? So again, we got to meet a lot of really cool new Jedi. We've already met them, but we got to actually know them this time around, which I thought was amazing. Finally getting to know these Jedi beyond Yoda. Okay, I love Yoda.
Oh man.
But it was nice to finally get to know others. We've not kind of gotten to know Plo Koon a little bit. We finally got Yaddle in the Tales of the Jedi last year, which was nice.
Oh, don't make me cry again.
I know you and I are going to cry together. It's okay.
Hufflepuffs cry together. That'll be our.
I know.
That'll be our slogan.
See, this is why I can't be the dark side, people.
Ultimate betrayal.
All right. So, what characters did we really connect with? What are your guys' favorites? Yes, you can still choose Yoda because, hello, I've got like a 3-footer of him in my, he's sitting in the corner right now. So, he could make, if I wanted to, he could make an appearance, but,
Not Volv's work. Well, yeah, I was gonna say. Well, nobody else is going first, so I guess I'll go first again.
Go for it.
So, characters that you say favorite character. It's just hard to choose, right? Because there's so many. Oh man, it's just kind of hard to just pick just one, right? Because there's so many. But
what about one you relate to, though?
What I relate to? Oh,
yeah.
Who do I relate to? That's a great question, actually. One character. So here's one that I guess I could kind of relate to that kind of just went off the top of my head is there's Kyla, this little girl that goes around and she finds herself being affiliated with something and then question and with the Jedi. I quite liked her character of this, and I feel like kind of her sort of story could be something that a lot of people could maybe connect with in the way of, a lot of people get involved in certain things and then kind of like question, like, is this really the right thing to be involved in? And, finding their way. And so I really liked her story. And that's something that I can kind of see connected to because, she very much follows that story of being taken advantage of. And that's something that I argue that probably everybody could relate to in that regard, and so that's the first character that comes to mind. And plus, being this little girl that can go to different places, I'm kind of I can fit into places too if I really want to. So,
you're a tiny person.
Oh, maybe it used to be, but I can fit in some cracks. We'll put it that way. So,
it was a surprising answer, though. I did not expect that, and that's awesome. Again, I've been listening to the audio version, so for a while I found her annoying just because of the voice that the audio version has. It's very high and squeaky, and Dappa, come back, and other things. And so, but yes, I did like her character. I just worry about her, though, because she's now joining what is going to become in the future the Republic Navy, and then that turns into the Imperial Navy. So just a little bit worried about what path she might take. Hopefully she remembers the good things she learned here. It'd be nice to see her in the future, possibly as part of the rebellion.
Mm-hmm. Andrew?
So I don't necessarily have a character that I fully related to, but probably my favorite character in the book was, I'm blanking on her name. She was a Jedi. She was Hotwire.
Teppa.
Yes, I liked her storyline quite a bit. Just getting more of her character and being undercover for as long as she was, and then the pirate lady finally figuring out who she is and almost turning her on the little girl. I liked all that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say that I think it's interesting that John Jackson Miller chose Deppa as she's kind of the main focal Jedi. I mean, they're all there, they're all doing their thing, but she is like the most in-depth into the situation. And she is also kind of the one that is following, I think, more following the Force or more following her humanity than any of the others. She, as Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Yoda were talking about in the last chapter, that she time and again chose to help Kyla and save Kyla instead of take down this dangerous pirate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Qui-Gon that says, the no attachment thing is the rule of the Jedi, but it's not the rule of the Force. The Force has
you're talking about the point at the tip end, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that part too.
Yeah.
So true.
So to have Deppa be the one that's really following through on this whole thing, I thought it was an interesting choice because Deppa is the teacher of Caleb Dune, who we know possibly better as Kanan Jarrus. And Kanan Jarrus was the focal character of John Jackson Miller's other book, A New Dawn. Mm-hmm. And I just think maybe he did that on purpose. Maybe working so much with Kanan, he really wanted to kind of, as this book talked about a lot, how someone becomes the person they become. And a lot of that is our teachers, our mentors. And Deppa was Kanan's. Mm-hmm. So I kind of think he did that on purpose.
Yeah. I want to read this quote here at the tip end because that was so good and it's so true. But I'm going to have a question with it. Qui-Gon put his hand on his Padawan's wrist. Attachments are not the problem in differences. He turned and called out as he walked towards the ship. Save a friend, Obi-Wan, and the friend may save you. Oh my God, I love that. But with that being said, because he mentions attachments and then he mentions indifference, does that change your view of attachments with Jedi? Does that change how you feel? And if you're in the chat, feel free to also respond.
I just think it really, reminded me that the Force supersedes the Jedi. Mm-hmm. And also, that rule, as we've seen, is up to interpretation by a lot of different Jedi. Mm-hmm. And I think Qui-Gon has, as he usually does, has it down best, mm-hmm. That the problem isn't the attachment, it's indifference to those in need. allowing the rules to get in the way of helping someone right in front of you. That's a problem.
But he even has that quote. It's on the back of the book. Help one person. A Jedi needs no permission for that. You know. So.
I guess attachment. Hello, Alphaba. Are you joining us for book club tonight? She's been a mama's girl the last few days. She hasn't been feeling 100%, but she's on the mend, huh? Anyways, I guess attachments for me has always been one of those things. When I read about it with the Jedi, there are reasons why I'm like, no, I'll just be Princess Leia instead, because I want the Force, but I want the smuggler too. Yes, I want the cake and the icing, and I want to eat the cake and all. So I guess it's so hard when I'm like going, okay, so he's saying attachments, but then he's saying indifference. But we know that Qui-Gon Jinn, he walked the good walk. You know what I mean? Like he stayed pretty in tune with who he was and the kind of Jedi he was. I think somehow even Kanan even flew. It's interesting because you mentioned Kanan. Kanan kind of flew underneath the radar because, of course, in the Rebels, he ended up with Hera, and he's not supposed to attach, but yet he attached. And it's, I don't know. It's one of those type of conversations like, well, is it okay? They say it's not, but at the same time, and then here they say, oh, but it's an indifference. And it's just like, I'm just going to be Princess Leia. Okay, people.
You should put that on your t-shirt.
I'm Princess Leia, or I'll be Princess Leia.
I'm just going to be Princess Leia.
I'm just going to be Princess Leia. Well, that means these are going to be blue Oreos tonight. We'll see.
See about that one.
So, I know personally, I felt, I felt like I got closer to Yaddle even more. That's, I don't know. What is it with me? It's like, I always loved, even when I was younger, I always loved Yoda. And then as an adult, when the child Grogu was introduced, I was like, oh my God, right? I never connected with Yaddle until this past year when she came, the Tales of the Jedi, and I'm like, oh, okay. But then there's this funny moment in this book where she's on the speedster. Now, funny story. I actually have artwork. Not this year's C2E2, but last year's C2E2, and it's of Yoda and Chewbacca inside like a speedster. Now I want a photo, like it's artwork. Now I want artwork of Yaddle in a speedster because I could just totally see it. In fact, that's as soon as I read that I instantly remembered the artwork I had purchased last year of Chewbacca and Yoda. And I'm just like, no, that should be Yaddle, not Yoda. It should be Yaddle. But I also there were moments where I felt like I was connecting with her because she did have some really good wisdom that she was pushing out. There were just things I connected with, So I'm gonna have to pick Yaddle. She really touched me, touched my heart, and I just really loved getting to know her. However, that does not discount though the fact that I really enjoyed getting to meet and getting to know these other Jedi. This was really cool because we'd never been able to do that before. And of course, this year marked the anniversary of the Phantom Menace. And of course, this comes in perfect timing with that. And that was pretty cool. So it was really cool to get to know this because of course, this is right before the Phantom Menace. So yeah, cool. All right. We got to talk about this really cool thing that is inside of our books. And I wish I could print one out for you to show you. I think you've seen it though, Ian, haven't you?
Yeah.
And that is the Gem Cities of Quen. For those who don't have it at home, Isaac, if you're ever interested, there's actually a map, and this is so cool. It is so neat. And I found this seemed to be to be helpful. Especially when we're like here, there, here, there, here, there. And I know we'll touch bases again on that in the writing style, but I was very grateful to have had this because I sometimes wonder how much would I have been more lost if I didn't have it. So, yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. What did you guys think of the settings that we got to visit? What did you guys think of Quen? Did you guys get lost in it because we were kind of all over the place, or thoughts?
Apparently, it already existed in Star Wars lore before this book. Although I was just reading about the background of the creation of the book. And it said it had existed before, but it didn't say where it was from.
Looking into that now.
Thank you. I knew you would. I'm guessing probably from one of the source books from the role-playing games.
In canon, it was mentioned in High Republic Eye of Darkness.
Oh,
So
okay.
new. It's new. Wow. Okay.
And there's a Legends tab, so I'm not looking at that now. And in Legends, it appeared in Red Harvest, this Crumb for Hire, Tatooine Manhunt, Starfall, and Star Wars Rebellion video game.
Okay. So yes,
Sure what a lot
it's been mentioned, but never delved into.
Not largely, yeah.
And I love when authors do that. You know, take some random planet that's been mentioned before and, you know, really go in depth with it. I was thinking about this before our meeting tonight, that I'm not sure we really got to know Quen, at least, which I know is odd to say, since we spent the entirety of the book there. But I was just thinking about how when we were reading the Heir to the Empire trilogy, and especially with the second book, the planet with the... What?
I was saying Kashyyyk.
Oh, no, not Kashyyyk, but...
that's a whole nother conversation. If we decide we want to dive into that, we can do that after the Oreos, behind the scenes.
Okay. The planet that the...
Gray people?
The Gray people. I'm so good at remembering these things, but I can't remember right now. But yes, the Gray people. You know, we spent a lot of the second book on their planet, really getting to know that planet, that culture, their history, and which was a favorite part for a lot of us. But I felt that even though we spent so much time on this planet and like it talked about the history, I didn't feel like we got to know really much about its culture, because it seemed like a lot of the people that lived there were different aliens from different places, you know? And so it wasn't like there was one species that lived there, which is perfectly fine. You know, obviously, you know, in our real world, you know, most cities and places are made up of people from different places and things, and it's an amalgamation of those cultures. But it was more focused on how the industry and the Republic in general was failing these people and how it was affecting their lives. So we were like getting to know individual people, but at the same time, I don't feel like we really got to know that much about Quen itself and its culture, if it has a culture. And so I would actually very much like to watch Morna's documentary show about the people of Quen and their stories, because that'd be fun. I'd like that.
So, side note here about the map that I mentioned earlier. It was actually designed by John Jackson Miller himself, and you can also find it in the ebook version. And it was I want to also add to yours. I completely understand. I felt like Quinn was like, you want to know more. You want to know the history and the lore, and at the same time, you're like, you kind of know it, but you don't know it. I feel like there was something connecting me with Kashyyyk. I'm like, oh my god, let's go to Kashyyyk, right? I mean, I was loving that, and Quinn, like, okay, we're here. Okay,
It's
we're
also
here.
it's also the fact that, you know, with that map there are different islands, so
Yeah.
different factions, which should be like different caste systems, different levels of wealth and stuff, and that was shown a small amount, like a couple points. You know, like Adigalia or Yaddle or someone would comment on the fact that, you know, you look at the beauty of this area and it's like you wouldn't think there was a problem. But I don't think they really got that much into the differences between the different places. To me, it all felt like the same place. It didn't matter what island we jumped to. It all just seemed the same, all just kind of generic. But I do want to say I did really like the Paths of Harmony and that idea of bringing everyone to the same level. I really enjoyed that idea.
Andrew and Spencer, you guys want to weigh in?
Yeah, I have something I want to say, but Andrew, if you want to go first, you can.
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree with a lot of what Ian was saying. It felt like there was more about Quinn we should have known, maybe. And it did. A lot of times it felt like it was all taking place, you know, the same area. If it wasn't for each chapter telling you where it was taking place, I don't think I could tell you where half the chapters took place if it weren't for that.
That's true.
I still can't tell you.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Well, piggybacking right off of what Andrew just said, you know, about like feeling as if there's more. You know, the Grand Renewal sounded very much something that is something from the High Republic, and that is a reference back to the High Republic. But problem is, in this case, though, is that the only place that we ever had this mention of the Grand Renewal is in this book. You know, it's not something that's already in the High Republic, and at this point, I feel like maybe it won't be something unless if it's in one of the last couple books, because we're through the majority of High Republic now, and there's been no connection yet to, if there ever will be, to this planet, and so. I mean, obviously, with it being a Grand Renewal, maybe it could be something like a big thing at the end that could connect. But obviously, point is too, you know, it's a huge galaxy, so not everything has to be connected. But you know, to the point that everyone's sort of agreeing on here, right, is that, you know, it is sort of missing that sense of connection. And the moment I read Grand Renewal, I felt like that it was something that I like read from one of the High Republic things, even though it wasn't. And so, and I think if we were able to ever get that story with Quinn in a High Republic novel, I think it would very much help elevate this story. And with reading that and knowing what Quinn is supposed to be and having, seeing what it was meant to be as to how so many of these older Jedi in this book is remembering that planet, I think it would very much help this story.
Before we jump in to talk about the writing styles, because I feel like we keep heading that way, even whether we're talking about characters or the setting, that's what we keep heading to. Who read this book by physical book? Okay.
Yeah.
And Ian, you also did it by audio, but you did yours by audio, right?
Yep.
And I did it also. I remember, so I did audio in the first week and the last week. And I had to go back and kind of relook a little bit even tonight, because I was like, man, I listened to my audio. So fun facts for those who are listening in our if you ever choose to listen to this, James Arnold Taylor from was the voice, the narrator, which was nice. I loved the fact that that was him. Okay. That's what I've got. That's the information I have. That it was actually him. It was James. It was Miller told. Voice was Miller told Obi-Wan Kenobi voice. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, about the book before its official announcement. So he was going to be the one who recorded it.
No.
Okay, we're gonna take.
I think they just talked about it because they were friends. It's narrated by Mark Thompson.
Ooh, I have to go look because I have his.
Who has narrated a lot of other.
Anything about Wikipedia about him, which is sad. That's a bummer.
I would bring it up right now, but I'm on my phone, and I think if I do anything, it'll.
We can talk about it.
Spencer.
So let me ask you a question then, Ian. Though, because you and I both did this again. I did it both ways. Which I'll make my own side note here. How did you feel about doing this by audio? Did you enjoy it? Were you like into it more?
That's the way I've read several Star Wars novels. It's how I read Lords of the Sith, which was also narrated by Mark Thompson. I'm just gonna.
We're gonna get credit.
You sure it wasn't James Arnold Taylor?
It wasn't James.
Well,
he does do a good impression though,
in the audio.
and I will say his impression of Obi-Wan was really good, and so was his impression of Palpatine at the end. That was so good. I think that made that chapter better. But yeah, I've listened to several of the Star Wars books that way, and overall, I really enjoy having it that way because it's like an audio play. You know, they have John Williams music, although sometimes it's like it's odd for what musical cue they choose to have at different points. Something doesn't always fit, but they only have so much music they can use. Maybe they should start taking some of Kevin Kiner's stuff. He has a lot. But yeah, and you know, it's exciting. They have sound effects, and the narrator gets really into it, and sometimes he gets too into it. And
minus the ignition of the saber.
Yeah,
I wish.
I wish that had been there. I mean, they have saber noises, but no, they did not have Maul stab that guy through the chest.
Yeah, but that would have been kind of neat. I'm just saying.
Would have been neat, but also sad.
I know, this is why people are like, you're going to the dark side. I'm sure of it. I would like to say though, one, I am more of a physical reader, or if I'm listening to it, I really should be reading along, like at least the eyes looking at it. Something's different in my mind. I don't know, or I'm taking notes. I mean, you can see the parts where I've taken notes and other parts where you're like, I didn't see your notes in there because I'm listening, you know? So I'm like, I'll try it again. But I still like, it's funny because when I went back to read at least the ending, because I was like, okay, I want to read Palpatine, because when I read Palpatine, maybe Spencer and Andrew, I don't know if you guys do this either, but it's like I could almost hear Ian McDermott like voicing Palpatine. I'm like, oh my god, like the man's not even like, I couldn't like, it's crazy. You could be reading.
So when I was, I'm sorry to interrupt, but since I watched Tales of the Jedi very late, I just watched that recently for the first time, and I watched it with Spencer. And so we were watching the episode with Yaddle, with what happens to Yaddle. And so Palpatine's there, although, you know, he's in the form of Sidious. And, you know, usually in animation, it is a different actor doing Palpatine's voice. You know, Sam Witwer has done his voice, and a couple other people. I can't remember their names right now. One of them is named Ian. I know that, so I can remember that name. But anyways, and they all do really great impersonations. However, when I was watching that episode with Spencer, I was like, that's Ian McDermott. That's him. I know it's him. And yep, it was. It was him. He was in the credits. So it's just, he just adds something. You know, he's so authentically that character. So yeah.
How do I avenge her death?
How do you avenge Yaddle's death?
Yes. that?
Well, first you need to jump into the books, like literally create that as an actual universe, and then go to Naboo, find a young child named Sheev, and say, "Hey, let's go on an adventure," and drive up with your white van.
My white van!
White
This
van.
is crazy!
Kill
Now,
baby
that's
Thanos
crazy
is
stuff.
what he's trying to say.
Yes.
There are no
So-
white vans in Star Wars. We don't do
There's
that.
flying
Yes.
white vans. Correction.
There's flying white vans.
Flying, yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No. This is the part where I'm definitely more the light side. No, we don't do that.
Because
Your
any
sense is different.
because any act, no matter the intention, any act that is done out of violence and hate, that leads to the dark side. So even if you killed him, then maybe you would become the new leader of the dark side, and yeah. So that's why we don't go that route.
I'm sorry, what? I heard that,
Is
and I was
Nicole-
responding to Isaac in the comment. I mean, in the
One
chat,
of us-
and I was just like,
Spencer,
I'm saying that if you went back and decided to take out little young Palpatine,
oh.
then
Yeah.
that would be a bad thing.
But technically,
Spencer.
if I'm taking out one to save all the others,
either
But if you're
Spencer or
taking them
I
out
gonna
before
get-
they've done that.
Spencer or I is going to get a message from Nicole saying, "My young apprentice," in the next few days. It seems like.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
wow. I'm praying those Oreos are blue. All right, so let's talk about the writing style of John Jackson Miller. How did you guys feel? How did you guys? Let's just dive. Let's just go, because there's many ways we can take this. Between characters, the setting. Let's have at it.
I'm ready. Do you want me to go first?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Okay. First off, before I forget, how is my audio? Because before, when using my
Great.
Bluetooth with this app, it's been problematic. Okay. All
Good
right.
overall.
Second thing before I go into this. Spencer, at some point, did you flip your video because your window was on the
Yeah,
opposite
it's,
side, and I need to know I'm not crazy?
You're not
Okay.
crazy.
I was
did
wondering
flip it
that.
once. Yes, I did. At one
Okay.
point, yes.
Okay. So did you do that? So if you lift a hand to move your hair, it's on the right side for you? Because I keep getting confused about my camera about what is actually on what side.
I flipped it because the text is automatically inverted.
And
so
you
when
know
I
what's
first pulled up the
crazy
book-
is that
yeah.
I could really mess with you here and switch us around right now.
No.
Oh no!
No.
I like being on the top.
Ian's like, nope, we're just not.
That's.
I mean, if you want me to switch it back, I'd reverse it.
No, it's just I needed to know I wasn't crazy, that your window was on the opposite side.
But just remember, the most maddest, bonkers people are some of the best people in the world.
Aww. At least I think that was an aw.
Well,
Oh,
No,
yeah,
see,
it's Alice
they
in
fool you.
Wonderland. Thank you,
the
Louis
evil
Sparrow.
people, they fool you.
I was
They make you
thinking
think you're
about-
kind, and so then that's how you pull. That's how you reel them in. Make people think you're kind,
Oh,
and then kill 'em.
shoot.
Yeah. So
Is that
try-
who I really
try.
am? Am I just nice to people to
No, Nicole.
No messing with
to
his
stab
mind.
them through the chest with a
Yeah.
lightsaber? Oh no.
Efficient.
Oh,
Wow.
Anyway, you were saying something about the writing style you're about to?
Yes. I have a lot of thoughts. I may or may not be able to bring them into some sort of cohesive manner. But you'll notice that I didn't really say a favorite character. Because
I thought you might have said my favorite, but you didn't. I was like, okay.
yours was Yaddle, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I
here's
just-
the thing.
Anyway. So, yeah.
Here's the thing. So with the Heir to the Empire trilogy, very much connected to several of the characters from that. And, I remember even talking about, Nicole, one of your questions is, do you recommend this book? And so I was just, for me personally, it was like based on the characters, based on how you can connect to those characters. They're not real people, but they're representations of real people, and representations of people that go through so many things that you can connect with. That's why I was like, yes, read these books. But for this book, there's some of that, but also I feel like it was less about characters and more about ideas, which I mean that this book, more than any other Star Wars book, I think was a real social commentary. And a lot of what goes on in our own world was going on here. And while that plays a part in every Star Wars book, I just felt like it was way more relatable to our real world than any other, just in kind of the blatancy of a lot of the things. And so while I really connected with a lot of the ideas, a lot of the different struggles, I didn't really relate to many of the characters because it never really went that in depth with them. It was more about what was going on around them. And especially also with the Jedi, the 12 council members. While we got to learn some about them, what are you smiling at?
These two are having a conversation with Isaac in the chat about
mature adults
the parentage of Grogu.
Okay, I don't want to know.
Isaac asked a very important.
Right here.
Isaac asked a very important question if Yoda made Grogu, so we were just giving him an answer.
Okay.
Right? I know. Okay, you two listen to Ian.
You don't have to listen to me.
I'm anonymous.
No, I was picking up what you're saying, Ian. I definitely.
I don't remember what I was saying.
I definitely.
Oh yeah, okay. With the Jedi, we were talking about that, getting to know them more. I don't think we got to know them much more than. So I texted you guys that the 2 pages from like the visual dictionary of the Phantom Menace, and there's a little blurb next to each Jedi that talks about like a little bit about their history, and I don't feel like we got much more than that. Sure, we got like more of their opinions about certain things. We got their personalities. I did really like that, but I don't think we really learned much more about them, about like their history. And sure, that's kind of because they all have been raised by the Jedi. But like Depa came from this area, this sector of planets. Her family was murdered before she was taken in by the Jedi. Yet I don't think they even mentioned that. I got that from the little blurb thing. And I just felt like even though we were in these characters' heads, we didn't really get to learn that much about them or about their history. And I was wondering if that's because of it being Star Wars and it being, this is canon. Everything that the writer does has to go through the Lucasfilm Story Group, has to get approved, to line up with history, sure, but also maybe it's like, well, we don't want to go too far in this direction because we might want to tell that story in the future, and we don't want anything dictating now what that is. So I'm wondering either if he was coming up against
That's true. I didn't
against pushback from the Lucasfilm story group, or if he didn't even try because of like the hoops you would have to jump through to do these things.
That's a very I guess sort of common thing that Star Wars does, right? A lot of people feels like so many different parts kind of go are more shallow than they should be, right? And a lot of novels, unless if it's like a specific novel where it actually covers that character's like history, like A New Dawn or the Phasma book and plenty of others. They do they are pretty much just in that own realm, and so I imagine it is more of a thing too, to where it is Lucasfilm sort of just being like, we want to save those stories for later, having Jedi and other places, and one of these particular Jedi in this story, not saying who, appeared in another show recently, and that's been lighting the internet on fire. And so I think that's part of it too, is they kind of don't want to say anything now and then have a contradiction later. But it's a whole other thing here or there, and so I don't know. I think it's just them to not trying to like do anything.
All right, Andrew, Spencer, what are you guys thinking of the writing styles?
Well, I already gave sort of my overall thought on it earlier, saying that, you have your highs and you have your lows, but as Ian also mentioned, I think shortly after what I said that too, some parts kind of just lead into more surprising parts, or maybe vice versa, and so like it really is a roller coaster of a book. One chapter or two is really exciting, and then it kind of gets into a slower chapter, but even then I don't think those slower chapters were necessarily bad, even though they did drag. And so but it definitely had a problem where some parts were just more boring than others, or even then the overall story at times too, I felt like was you kind of, for me, I felt like I kind of knew where the story was going the whole time. And something that I brought up in our previous like book clubs as well is that like the threat felt it felt similar to like what was going on in High Republic Phase 1, just not as big. And so like it just wasn't as like unique to me, I guess, or like I don't know, it just didn't reach out to me as much, because it's like, with it being a solo novel, what's going to happen when it's just one book. But it's also, what's also really important though is that it's the journey, and this journey it was just a roller coaster.
Yeah, I agree. This was my first John Jackson Miller book to read in general, so I don't know if he writes if it was close to what he usually writes like. But there were
Not
some
in my
chapters.
opinion.
No, I'd say no.
Oh, okay, good. I own his Kenobi book, but that's still on my TBR. So, but I agree with you, Spencer. If you read the physical copy, you'll know there were some chapters where it felt like a long 5 pages. I was like, man, this, and then there were other chapters I'm just flying through it. So I think it just, but it made for a good story, because I wanted to keep reading. Like, this is going to be good, so.
Okay, again, this is about balance, and sometimes it balances, sometimes it was lopsided. And there were times that I was coming into book club on Sunday nights and I wasn't fully into that story that day, but yet I was loving the characters, or we would start getting into conversations, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, now this is interesting. Or we took a thought and then explored it, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, now this makes the book more intriguing to me, and that's what kind of like really pushed me through this book. Was a lot of times when we would get to book club, and if I was really excited, I don't know, maybe it would spark something else. Or again, I would come to book club and I'd be like, I kind of liked it, but here's the thing. And then we would start talking and getting into conversations. And I was just like, There we go. That's what I needed, you know? And that's how I kind of felt like with this. One thing I was not a fan of. Sorry, John Jackson Miller. And he's an amazing author to by the way, to me. I've always enjoyed meeting him. I've read the Dawn with Hera and
A New Dawn.
Canon. Yeah, the New Dawn. And I liked
really
that.
good book.
I really did. In fact, that's why I was like, oh my God, we should read this. This is his first book since then. And he read, you know, he also did the Obi-Wan book. So I was really, really excited for this. And the one thing though I did not like, but I'm like, how did this even get past the storyboard? Sorry, it is what it is, because this pulls me out of it the same way it pulls me out when I was watching Willow, the series, and went, why'd they do that? And that is with the whole thing with insurance, because even at the end they talk about insurance being a company, and I'm like, this is not Star Wars. This is not Star Wars. This felt very like, if I wanted to talk about insurance, if I wanted to talk about assurance, the insurance company, I would talk about that in real life, and it's boring. You know what I mean? Like, that's boring to me. And I don't, trust me, like, insurance gives me a headache, and I don't want Star Wars to give me a headache, you know? So that part pulled me out, including towards the end. Like, what excited me the most for this book towards the end was was with Palpatine. I loved that. I was like, yes. But then the whole thing with assurance and the insurance company, I'm like, going, dude, it's like, you got to find the balance. And I was having a hard time finding the balance here in this book. It was like good moments, but then not so good moments. And well, am I glad I read it? Yes. Am I glad I got to know some of these Jedi characters more? Yes, I did. You know, but what lacks is the fact that I want to know more about the actual planet. And I don't want human life that we have to endure every day, like insurance, in my Star Wars. Like, let me be, I want the escapism. I want to be fully escaped into the world. You know, it's like when we're talking about Kashyyyk, I'm like, yeah, let me be in there. Let's go live with the Wookiees. I don't want to be sitting down and talking to Chewbacca about insurance. Not my thing. You know,
have you renewed your driver's license?
I want to talk to you. Well, Yaddle doesn't need one. She just goes on her speedster and does whatever she wants. So, but it's like, I would rather sit down and talk to, you know, I don't know, learn stuff from Yaddle or go have yoga classes with Yoda. I don't know. I want to go do stuff. I want to go and do good things. That's where I was. I was just like, I really like this. And then I was like, I like it, but I never like fully loved this book. And I wanted to. That's the worst part. Going into this, I wanted to love this book. You know, I was so excited to finally meet all these characters. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. And then I was just like, the first couple of pages, we were like, none of these characters were involved. And we're like, what? It was like a catfish. Like, nope. And eventually we got them. But it was still, yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It was good. So
I think this book I think its biggest issue was editing. It needed more editing. And part of me does wonder whether maybe this was supposed to be a young adult novel at first. You know, something shorter. But they decided to have it be one of the adult novels and have it be nearly 500 pages long. And this story, I don't think, warranted that. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, the main problems for me is just there was too much, and the story didn't need all that. And also, it's just really kind of annoying in a way, because it's like, would I recommend this book? I don't know, because part of me says no, because yeah, it's just kind of overlogged with too much unnecessary things. But the other part of me is something that you said, Nicole, is that even though, like, going into book club, multiple times I was thinking, what are we going to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
But we had some of our best conversations with this book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really in-depth stuff that really connected personally with a lot of us.
Oh, and then we had to talk about Yaddle, and it made us want to cry.
Well, she had some of the most kind of influential quotes. Like, there was a lot of, this book said a lot of really good things. And I know a lot of times, yeah, you do want to, Star Wars is an escape, but Star Wars is informed by our own world.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
and that's what a lot of this book was saying. So, like, the stuff that affecting these people's lives affect our own world as well. And so I think it allowed us to connect more, at least in that way.
Well, I think, again, one good example, though, of what happens in our world happens kind of in theirs, and that's like her getting on the speedster and having a good time. But not insurance.
It was called Assurance.
Sure. Hey, they talked about it very
I know they said it was named after an insurance company in the last few chapters.
Like, it
yes,
makes me
I
want to
get
go, were they involved? Because I don't want that. I don't want insurance companies involved.
Was this paid promotion in Star Wars?
I don't know. I hope not. I pray not.
Oh, no. This is where, like, when you're watching a TV show and they, like, spend way too much time focusing on the car and how the car works and look at this button, what this can do, and the prominent name or logo comes up.
You watch Madam Web for about 10 seconds and you'll go, I don't want a Pepsi ever again.
Say what? All right, I have to mention at least one Yaddle quote, okay? Because I do like Yaddle. Okay, so John Jackson Miller, thank you for writing Yaddle, because let me tell you, I really liked her.
That was one of the best parts.
Okay, so this is from page 220, and that is, we are all equal, Yaddle said, and we will share in this work. And she looked up at him, she says, the Force doesn't ask us to martyr ourselves for it, to commit ourselves too entirely to the humblest job, staying ever in one place. We should move, experiencing lives, these this ROT duties can be shared. And I'm like, we need a book of just about Yaddle. We need, like, how we have, like, the Yoda wisdom books, you know what I mean? Yoda was whatever they are. I'm like, we need Yaddle. Like, I want to take all of Yaddle's from this book, and I want to see how many I do. I want to, like, figure out how many's in here, because she was just, this is why she stood out to me, because she's talking about being humble. She's talking about good stuff, even being a martyr, and talking about the Force. This is how it's done. This right here, John Jackson Miller, this page right there. That's how I want it.
I was thinking today, I don't remember when, but I was thinking today that had Yaddle still been there, and had Anakin in the third movie come and talk to Yaddle about his problems and not Yoda.
You're right.
Because Yaddle would have approached him with Yoda's wisdom, but her humanity, her empathy, and she might have been able to get through to him.
Oh my god.
So.
Okay, but let's be.
Yaddle would have saved the galaxy.
About Yaddle, but it's not until, like, recently that Yaddle has finally gotten her due, and she's finally getting this amazing character development. But you're right, but they didn't think about that, like, you know, how many, you know, moons ago when they made those movies. You're right.
Well, I mean, if she had and she would have gotten through to him, then it would have broken the universe, because then Darth Vader wouldn't have existed. And
yeah.
Yeah.
That would make Ro really sad. And I don't know if I can handle a sad Ro. Like, it's not pretty. It's not. So, hey, I see that the Dingus Den. Seriously. Wow. ladies and gentlemen, for if those who are watching and not seeing what's happening in the chat, there is a lot of conversation about making Yoda and Yaddle the parentage of Grogu.
It's definitely
now,
what happened.
Remember, they are both Jedi Masters. You're not allowed attachments, and no, they did not create Grogu.
Yes, that they did.
We don't know. Hey, what
They
happens in
absolutely
Coruscant stays on Coruscant.
Exactly.
That's not true. That's not true. Okay, so one quick more round of just real quick. What is your rating of this book? And would you recommend it? Or you can be in the middle. That's fine. I'm all good for that. You can do stars, you can do A, B, C, D, E. Hopefully not.
So I've been like thinking about this since I finished reading it earlier today, and it's kind of tough. Okay. I think if I didn't have this book to read, if I wasn't part of this book club, I know Manian talked about this. We don't think we would have continued reading it past a certain point.
Like first or second chapter for me. Actually, maybe first chapter. Second chapter was actually pretty good.
Wow!
Wow!
Okay, okay.
Say
I would have given it. I would have given it more of a thing like that. I think you need like a 50, 100 sort of page thing, and then sort of decide, right?
That's a lot of pages.
Some books don't get going till then.
You got to give a movie at least 30 minutes, usually to.
Yeah. No, I give it 17.
17.
I give a movie 17 minutes.
That is oddly specific, but okay.
But it's true. I think that 20 minutes is too long to waste, and 15 minutes is not long enough to develop an opinion. So 17.
Yeah. It's
okay. That's
anyway, what I was about to say though is that I don't. There's a chance I may have stopped reading it like I have other books, or that also if I did just continue reading it, I would just take it everything at face value and not really look into it more like we did in book club. And I'm saying this now because I feel like the book would have been maybe a 6 out of 10 for me if I just took it at face value. However, I really do feel like when thinking back on it and with the discussions we've had, of those great discussions we've had, going into some great moments that didn't really click with me or whatever the first time when reading it, it turned the book into what I think would be, other than a fine, okay book, to what I would call a solid book with, while it is a roller coaster and it is, have its, slow moments in there, you also really do have great moments in the book too. Some great parts you can connect with, as we talked about in book club, and it does hit emotionally in some cases, and there is some fantastic quotes too. And each character does have something that they sort of stand for that, could possibly connect to you, maybe not, and so, and so for me, I think I'd raise it up to a solid 7 out of 10, or even though the numbers don't line up exactly the same way, I feel like at a star rating, it's 3 out of 5. But yeah, for your on the fives thing there, Red 5 rating there. There you go. 3 out of 5.
Yeah, for me, it was one of those books, and I agree with you, Spencer, where if I was just reading it on my own, I don't think I would have read it as quickly. But when you're reading or watching something with a group of people, they will often point out things that maybe you didn't think about before or realize. And so that definitely, makes it more enjoyable for me. But I think out of stars, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I still thought the book was really good overall. I thought it had a really good ending, and it kept me engaged the entire time, even with the slower chapters. Yeah. So hold
that thought. Somebody's here. in our
Finally.
studio, in the green room. And I'm entering him to the stage now. Ubaldo, welcome.
Hey.
All right, time to
We
start
are
over.
Ubaldo this no
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, this was the pre-show.
We're just doing our ratings. I'll let Ian go, and then I'll swing back to you, and you can give us your overall thoughts and your rating. Sound good?
No problem.
Sounds awesome. All right, Ian.
The screen, everyone moved where they are. Now I have to adjust where I'm looking.
Well, I could go cray.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No.
Okay. I guess I already sort of said, like, I don't know exactly how to rate this novel. I don't know how to recommend this novel. And it's sad because I think there was so much good in this novel, and so much of it, what it was talking about, how, like, setting up the fall of the Jedi somewhat, talking about what it means to be a Jedi, how other people see the Jedi, and, you know, setting up places like for Palpatine's plan about, you know, disrupting the Jedi's attention, causing suffering and strife, having people stop believing in the Jedi, having people think the Jedi and the Republic don't care about them. All those things that set up exactly what the Separatists were. And as you said, Nicole, we and Spencer too, and as you guys said, we had some of our best conversations about this book, and I just think if it had been edited better, been a shorter story, maybe not been a novel, been an anthology, just something else, so that you could really focus on these wonderful things this book is saying, but don't have to dig through all the sand or something, you know, to find those things. So what would I rate this book? I don't know. I think, geez, you guys rated it pretty high. Because if it was out of 5, God, maybe a 2. That's the problem. Just the structure of the book, the entire, like, all that stuff is what my negative rating is. If my rating was about all the wonderful things that were in the book, it'd probably be a 4 or a 5, because there is so much good in there. And I just think it's a shame that it's kind of lost in this story. So, anyways.
Right. Ubaldo, what would you like
Wow.
to share with us how you felt about The Living Force, overall thoughts? If you want to share a favorite quote or favorite character, feel free.
Wow. It's kind of hard to go after Ian like that.
I've been more positive.
No, it's all good. I've been listening. I've been driving around, so I know how much you hate me talking and driving, Ian. So I waited to get to home, and I'm actually in my driveway. So before it ends, so I can come and talk to you guys. And I'm so sorry, first of all, that I'm late.
No, it's okay.
No,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I mean, like you guys were saying, every week we had some interesting, topics and some heavy conversations.
Yeah, we did.
But this book, okay, where can I start? It was so packed, with so much stuff going around back and forth. We got a little bit of stories with, like Spencer said earlier, we got 12 members. We got a little bit of Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan at the beginning, at the end. And pretty much that's it with them. This book was mostly concentrated on the villains, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
And it It had some good humor that I've never seen from him done.
Mhm.
You know, there was a little bit of stuff in there. What I like about the book, though, it does follow a lot of the prequels, like Master and Apprentice, Brotherhood, Rise of the Red Blade, and things like that.
The
But
themes. Mhm.
yeah, the themes. But man, there's so much stuff that was happening. The Jedi conflict, how they approached everything, how you know, it was so much in there that I was expecting a little bit more, but towards the end we got like rushed. So, oh man, you know, and I really don't know how to rank this book because I know you guys talked about it earlier. Kenobi was like fantastic for me, you know,
Mhm.
and A New Dawn. So it's like this book, I was putting expectations way up there, and I put it like third or fourth of his, you know, collection out there.
Mhm.
And man, it's kind of tough to get, you know, try to give it a good rating. But you know, we said out of 5, right?
Out of 5, you can rate it with the grade if you want.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to do it from a 5 point of view, I'd probably say about a 2. You know, we had a couple of good quotes in there that I really enjoyed, and I shared them with you, Nicole. You know, with courage leads to peace, and peace leads to love, and love leads to healing. You know, that stood out way out for me. But at the same time, you know, another quote that stood out for me was that tomorrow's suffering, it doesn't exist, not yet, but today's suffering does. And that's what I kind of felt out of this book.
Yeah, that one stood
Because,
out.
yeah, because there was times that I know you guys mentioned it earlier that we had some good highs in here. And then there were some times we were like, oh God. And I know Andrew said it. We got through some chapters pretty fast and it was fascinating. And there was chapters like, okay, I think I read this page 3 times.
It's a long 5 pages. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I I think what helped us to get through this book is those chapters were short,
Yeah.
you know,
That
and
helped.
you know that helped, and I think that's what got us through it for me personally. But I mean, I wish I was really expecting it to be good because it started off with a bang, and it kind of slowed down for us. Well, for me, I should say.
Yeah. Do you guys think if this would have been done as like mini books and separated, do you think that would have helped?
You know, well, it kind of
Maybe not separated, but in an anthology. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it depends how you read it.
I had a
Yeah.
very interesting idea of like, what if this book was somehow. I don't know if necessarily a novel would be the best way to sort of tell what I thought of, but like, you know, we had so many different storylines going on, and we kept on bringing up anthology. I feel like it'd be really interesting of like, what if this was somehow like a show of sorts, to where each episode focused on a Jedi's journey. Maybe you could get a little bit of the villain plot here and there with each episode, but each episode focuses on like 1 or 2 of those Jedi, you know, because we did see several of these Jedi kind of in like duos with each other. And so it would have been really interesting, I think, like, what if we had an anthology and then the episode or the finale is what we last read here. So I think it would have been interesting to sort of like tell the story that way. You know,
I think a comic book series, like a comic book miniseries, would be a good way.
Good idea. What if it was like an animated kind of like Star Wars or Clone Wars, like, or like Isaac just mentioned, Tales of the Jedi,
or like Tales of the Jedi or something? Yeah.
They could have given us that as long as they keep the insurance to themselves. Okay, I don't want that in my Star Wars.
I was thinking. So I was reading about some of the backstory of the book today, and he was approached. John Jackson Miller was approached to write the book back, I think it was February 2023 is what it said. So that is just a year, basically, before the release. And in my opinion, a book, especially a book this long, a year is a really short time to write. I think that kind of thing would take like 2 years. Now, I don't know how long like uh, Timothy Zahn like had to write his Thrawn trilogy or whatever, and I don't know how long John Jackson Miller like had to write New Dawn or anything. But it just seems like this is a pretty short amount of time, and I'm just wondering if that was part of the issue, that they just didn't have the time to really kind of format this into something better where they would be able to,
That's wild
edit
though. Like
things
that's
down.
the thing is like
Mhm.
that raises a very good question though. Like how long a novel should take to write, but that does sound short. Like it depends, right? Like if it's a trilogy though, we see like I think we had like year break release from the Heir to the Empire, if I remember right. But that makes sense though, because he would have taken a lot of time up front to plan this as a trilogy, because supposedly it was a trilogy the whole time. Versus this, though, it's like you're still trying to plan a complete story, just it's not a trilogy, and so. But that does seem short to me when you say that. But at the same time, though, you have Stephen King doing, writing stuff so quickly.
And you got someone like George R.R. Martin taking 12 years to write.
Oh my gosh!
It's like, I guess it just depends on the
You
author.
need to find a happy medium. Nicole says she will be back. Something happened to her Wi-Fi, so the show must go on.
Spencer,
So,
you are the new host. You have the most experience.
Okay, well, Spencer, even though you're the new host, I had a question that I wanted people's opinion on.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to want Nicole's opinion when she gets back. So near the end, okay, first off, last week we had been discussing what our expectations of the end of the book were going to be. And I expected to be disappointed, which I don't think I was. I think it did have a lot of good things in the final few chapters. And I was also very happy to see that they did not kill Zelastra. I fully expected them to kill Zelastra. But she lives, and also Palpatine mentioned some admiration for her, so I feel like she might appear in some future stories. But, part of Zelastra's story, which I found really affecting, was her origin story that the Jedi had taken her two best friends and abandoned her. Well, we found out who that Jedi was. Sifo Dyas. What was your guys' opinion on that name drop and what it meant for this story? Did you have any thoughts? Did you have any reaction, or were you just like, okay? Because I had some thoughts.
That's kind of like a double-sided sort of thing for me, right? Because one, we're gonna want to begin with it, right? Like part of the appeal of the story for me was that it's always interesting to where and we sort of see this whole thing in like superhero stories all the time too. They save the day, but there's always people affected in other ways, right? And you don't necessarily think about how people are affected, even though it looks like, hey, overall we saved the day or something, right? And so I think it's always interesting to sort of get that other side of the story. And so in this case, though, I thought it was very interesting to have, at the end of the day, we would have known. Well, I mean, we knew Zelastra was sort of just ill-informed, right? It wasn't the Jedi's intention to leave her lonely, but while Sifo Dyas made a lot of sense, and when I first read that, I was like, wow, okay. At the same time, too, though, in a way, it kind of felt like a cop-out to me, too, because it's like, well, does that not kind of defeat part of what I was thinking the whole time, at least, of what I was just saying? And so that's sort of where my mind went. I'm kind of split on it, because it's like, yeah, it makes sense with Sifo Dyas, but at the same time, though, it kind of also negates the whole point of what I feel like the story was trying to tell, to set up with Zelastra's character there. I'm kind of split on it.
It almost makes it seem like the name drop wasn't necessary.
It kind of also negates the whole point. I think your thing's trying there, Nicole.
Are we in a
fourth
wall?
Nicole
Are we breaking the fourth wall?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm hearing Spencer from the past.
I know.
I'm
going on?
texting bro because my
A
Wi-Fi
time travel
like
or something?
my Wi-Fi for some odd reason like knocked out. I knew we were getting close to the end of the show, and I'm going, how am I going to be able to end the show? How am I going to end
Yeah.
the show when I can't?
Answer would
And
have
I
had to
tried
have.
getting back in, and I was trying to use the links he sent me, even off on my 5G. And I'm wondering if the person in the back wants to join us. Anyways, because I could see him, and he can make his own appearance if he chooses to. Because I haven't done the Star Wars Oreos. I don't want him to miss that part either. But yeah, so I was trying to get back in, and I'm just like, oh no, what am I going to do? And all I could think of was, bro, help, help. It wouldn't let me in originally. I was like, wow, y'all kicked me out of my own book. My own book. How rude.
Yeah.
The entire thing didn't collapse without the host.
Oh, what is
It's you,
happening?
Baldo. Were you Baldo-less again?
I did not touch anything, people.
What is going on, Nicole? She's starting it. Her evil.
This
She's
is the
taking us out
typical
one by
Indian
one.
story, taking us out one by
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
First, Ubaldo. He couldn't say anything because he was muted. He couldn't say.
Is there a
help.
shadow behind me? Is Darth Maul here?
Yes.
Well, that would be bad. Okay, so if we can get you Baldo back, that'd be great. I think.
All right. Your voice is messing up a little bit. Just to let
It
you know.
is?
More than a little bit, but
Yeah.
yes.
It's I'm telling you, there's something in the force tonight. All of a sudden,
All right.
We're just going.
I'm assuming.
My Wi-Fi, Ubaldo. Now
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Yeah.
Okay, I turned off my Bluetooth headset.
All right.
Okay,
Hi.
but now I have to
Are you
change
joining us?
where this
Hello,
audio
Sir
is coming
Chris.
from. I don't know how to do that in here.
There's a little settings wheel, and you can.
It's Nicole. She's messing with you, so we can't hear
Might
you cry
be
for help.
Settings,
Yeah.
audio.
She's
It's
force
not
choking
true.
you.
Okay, so I'm beginning to think maybe you're part of the dark side.
Who, me?
Yeah. No, not you.
Oh,
Oh, good. Bro
I
was in the chat.
Wish
I'm
my
so
mic was a
excited
different
now.
color.
He
Dark
left.
side,
He left the once I had everything under control. Literally, I was very having a moment. I was like, what happens if I can't finish the show? How do I turn it off?
we
okay.
we just
But
keep
Nicole,
going
we
live.
started discussing something while you were away.
I noticed. I heard.
Okay. Oh, you heard? Okay.
Or kind
All
of
right.
heard. I didn't hear the
Andrew-
question because I was
You
trying to
didn't hear
figure
the
things
question?
out.
Okay, so the question was about Sifo-Dyas's inclusion in the end, that he was the Jedi that left Celastra at the orphanage. And so Spencer was, saying that he was unsure about that inclusion. Andrew started to speak. Andrew?
Yeah, I've kind of been different about it. For me, it was kind of one of those, oh, cool, and then kept reading kind of moments. I mean, it didn't fully blow me away. I could have done without a specific Jedi, but that's just me. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I
I'm
just thought it
with
was okay.
Spencer because I think it actually took away from the story. I think cool, Sifo-Dyas, he is an important Jedi, and it was interesting to hear that his obsession with the future and trying to stop what he foresaw coming allowed that indifference to happen, to not see people in need.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I didn't feel it was necessary. I think it was better to leave that ambiguous to who that Jedi was, that it was, that she just fell through the cracks of their system and their system has problems. Whereas this came off as being like, oh, well, that wasn't us. That wasn't our Jedi Order. Those weren't our rules. That was just this guy. It's fine. Like kind of brushing it off. And I actually liked that she came back and was like, "That doesn't make it better."
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was kind of the point, but I think it kind of took away from the story, actually.
Yeah. Okay, I want to address a question from Ro. So we are at C2E2. Oh Lord, here we go again. We can't get away from the parentage of Grogu tonight, but we're getting back on track, people. Okay, so the question is Nicole, did you read the other story from John Jackson Miller that he told us to read? Okay, no, I have not.
Do you remember what it's called?
Talking about is that when I was at buttons. Touch all the buttons, press all the buttons. You never know what's going to happen. And then roll beam, go to the dark side. Anyways, okay, so to his question, no, I haven't, because I was going to wait until this week because we don't have book club next week. To Spencer. So at C2E2, I got another signed book from John Jackson Miller. That's Legends. And of course, it has Darth Vader on it. And he said for me not to read the book or read the insert from that book that's from him in the regard, because he actually included a part of Legends in this book. So technically there's something from that book that's now canon.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. He said,
You don't know what that is, though?
I don't know yet. I have to still go back and read. I haven't done it yet. So I will read. I could read.
Is it a novel or a comic?
No, it's a
One
book.
of those magazine stories?
It's a book. No, it's a book.
It's a full book.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a hardback book, man, y'all. It's party, and it's got Vader on it. I mean, I looked at Roe and went, I kind of had
I think
That
I
John
found
Jackson Miller wrote?
yes, and now I'm mad because when I decided, for the sake of budgets, I'm like, okay, I'll buy the first Legends one here, right, at C2E2, and I'll get the other one at Joliet Star Wars Day.
Can we find out what that book is called, please?
I will.
Is it Knight Errant?
The Rise of the Empire?
I'm not sure. You know what? Give me 1 second.
We'll just keep naming off books.
Rise of the Empire
this?
was a compilation of 3 books.
Okay.
Give me a second. Let me see if I can see it in a picture. But if not,
Wait, it's a novel that has Vader on the cover? Wait.
yeah.
Would you?
It's
Oh,
a
did you
book.
get?
I know that I've
It's not
shared it. Hold on.
No, that's an Old Republic book. Never mind. Hold on. You said Vader's on it though.
Yes.
It's a novel.
But he's only written Kenobi, A New Dawn.
No,
and
he's done.
this.
No. He has done more. He's
I
also.
thought all those were short stories.
His might be included short. Like I know he's included stories in Canton Bite. He's done short stories in From a Certain Point of View. So some of those are short stories. This might have been a short story.
I was gonna say it may be one of the short stories in the. You said it was Legends, right?
Yes. Give me 1 second. I'm looking to see if I can find it. Oh my gosh.
Got you.
This could take me a hot minute because I think actually Ro took photos of
Star
it,
Wars Legends.
and I have to get into that drive.
I like that.
And yes, I think Ro's right. It is a short stories. So here's the thing. The 25th, the actual 25th is coming up, and I will make sure that I get a picture of it and send it so everyone can see it both on Twix and in our Discord.
Okay.
I will make sure it happens. I just remember
We got to make sure it's real.
Right. Well, this day was so interesting because this is the same day, of course, I met Spencer wielding Vader. And I just remember going, wow, I'm just in Vader mode. You know what I mean? This is the day I was in full blown, like I'm hanging out with Ro and I'm full blown like in Vader mode that day. I went from thinking about dressing up like Belle and going to see Paige O'Hara to no, you're going to be a twin with Ro. And you're going to be meeting somebody who played Darth Vader in Rogue One and did a lot of Harry Potter and Doctor Who and all that stuff. And you're going to be buying a lot of merchandise with Darth Vader. I don't know what happened, people. Okay, I got
Dark Side, where
right
we've been
into the
telling you
vortex.
for the past hour 40.
Wait, I don't know what he's talking. Okay, so let me back up because then I'll tell you guys what I just saw. Okay, so yes, he does have Batman coming out in October. I do want to read that one though. I'm very excited. Who knows? We never know because we know that he's written really good books and short stories. And this makes me excited because my birthday's next month. It's in July. And I'm so excited. So for those who don't know, I also surprised Ro at C2E2 with a very, very, very early birthday present for him. And that's because I also got him something from Spencer Wielding. And I'm just like, we have to meet, it was just, you guys, let me tell you, it was just an amazing, amazing, amazing experience. Yay, Ubaldo is back. So now I can finally maybe move on. Real quick. I want to make sure, did I miss your rating?
No.
Okay, so for me, real quick, let me go ahead and finish my rating, and then we'll go ahead and finally get some Stario, y'all. I can't even talk straight anymore. Star Wars Oreos. I'm gonna say mine real quick. I would give it like a 3 or like a B- to C+ because one, I loved the characters. Okay, I love Yaddle. I loved what he did give us. I loved it more every time that I was, or no, sorry. I liked it. I liked it more when I was in group with everybody. Okay. Even with Kim, like she was just pulling out things and each of you guys were bringing things to my attention. And I felt that was really wonderful. But the rating got knocked down because again, hello, I don't want insurance in my book. I don't want boring stuff in the galaxy, and I definitely wanted more about the planet. Like, just hit me in the feels. However, what pushes that thing back up though is that Palpatine towards the end. Okay, if you just nixed the insurance stuff and had Palpatine, I think my thing could have went higher. It's but I still have to say thank you, John Jackson Miller, because he did give me a lot more quotes that I'm just like, again, so this Tuesday, the 25th, I will actually be dropping on Twix on the Red5 reading channel. I'm going to be dropping different quotes that everybody else here is inspired by from this book. I'm going to be dropping things that I'm inspired by because I felt like there was a lot of good wisdom that made me go, I could live by this. This is the stuff I am loving about this book. And I want to bring that type of positivity to not only our book club, but also to others who are enjoying being a part of watching what's happening in our book club. So I'm like, I want to drop that. So that will be on Tuesday. That being said, I have to, you guys. Okay, so quick story. I am going to finally get to these guys. Okay. And
Open.
So I'm going to do a quick story. So my best friend Jennifer and I went to a local grocery store here called Hy-Vee, and I heard that they were there, and I was so excited because I found them. And I guess I have photos. I dropped those. But I remember being so nervous though and picking them. Why? Oh,
Ooh.
I got two. Oh, Scott said I got 2 packages on Friday and both are red. No way! No.
You can't be the
Oh
odd one
my
out,
God.
Nicole.
Bro,
You gotta get
Ro,
you gotta get red.
Whoa. How's Ro feeling right now? Spencer, you have a quick question before I get started.
Oh, yeah, I was literally just responding. Yes, it is. I get them in large batches from Costco because everything comes in large batches.
Anyways, so
You think
but
in
I was
Mexico they
nervous.
just call it Coke?
We're in galaxy mode. Anyways, so I was there. 2 things that came to mind. One, I thought about buying several other packages. Okay. Because one, I was told maybe I should buy a couple of packages so I could open up 2. You know what I mean? Because if one came up red, one came up blue, then I would be gray, which kind of makes sense with me. At the same time, I thought, well, no, that may not be right. And then I thought, well, maybe I should get my, for friends, because like Andrew, you said you haven't been able to find him yet. And I thought about grabbing a pack for my friend Brandon. And I thought, oh, I could do that. And then I started going, but then how would I know which one's meant for me? Like, how would I choose? How would I choose? And you guys, let me tell you, I was overthinking Star Wars Oreos in my mind, y'all. I'm in high D. My best friend
Buy 5
I'm
boxes and you get
shocked.
number 5.
and
There you
I was
go.
overthinking them.
Was as I'm not gonna say crazy, as you got about the Ahsoka character personality test.
Hey, what happens
I
if
am-
book club is supposed to stay in book club, people?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say
Are
who
we-
you got.
Are we going there?
I'm just saying I'm not surprised this was a dilemma for you.
I know, right? I think this really did. I think
yeah.
this did more for the Star Wars community than the Acolyte. That's a hot take right there.
It's,
I would like to add though, real quick.
brought us
Wow,
together in the time we
Nicole.
needed most.
Wow.
Oh, I
Wow,
did not.
clip
Is this
that.
a real thing, Ro? Is that true? Did you guys
That makes
check the
sense.
serial numbers? And
That
how
makes
you-
sense.
No, I
I
did
think
not.
like that.
No, I didn't want to know. I didn't check anything. But I would like to add that I did also then write Ro later. I will include him in my story. Because I was nervous. I said, I'm actually nervous to open these. Everyone wants me to open them. I'm excited to open them. But I said, because
Oh,
I
Ben.
feel like in the last like 6 months,
Quit
I've
stalling.
been in a different place. I'm a Hufflepuff. I'm usually a very positive person, but when you get into like you're going through a hard situations and you're just getting, lots going on, and it just made me go, well, no freaking wonder I could be at the dark side at this point. You just mentally, I was feeling like I was in a darker space. And then I'm like, well, no wonder Rose trying to reach out to me. He's like, I could feel it. Yeah, I could feel you're going there. So pull. And me going, no, I want to be Leia. Okay. I want to.
Join us, Nicole. Join us.
No. But at the same time, I know Rose, like he senses it. I think it has been a really hard time. But the thing is that with our group, this has been a big positive plus. Notice white. Okay, Ro, I'm trying.
We're
And
looking
I'm
at the
gonna
shirt. That's all.
I know. I still my shirt. I know, because eventually we're going to get. Eventually we're gonna get. I'm gonna get my other one, but I will keep this one forever. But but yeah, I just feel like because I've been in a dark place, I'm like, that's why I'm scared to pull red versus blues. I'm like, no, I'm a Hufflepuff. Hufflepuffs, we're not dark. And
Will you eat them if they're red? Or
well, I'm
will
gonna
you
eat my
just-
Oreos no matter what.
You're gonna eat them. Okay.
But another fun fact though, I did grab. Did you know you can get them in a 10-pack?
Yeah.
I got mine in 10-pack too. So I got the full size and I got 10-pack because I thought, well, if I needed to, I could always share it, or I can open up all of them and just become a great Jedi because, I can.
The Sith.
But
Join us.
So this group, I think you, Andrew, and Spencer, and Ian, and Ubaldo, and Ro, who is, I can't even, he is beyond, I can't even talk about it or I'm going to start crying. As well as, Scott and Kim, we're just this group. And that's what I love about community. That's why I wanted to share this moment with you guys. Because it's just, community really does change everything. Yes, it's just Oreos. But what brought to my light was the fact that I was starting to think about my mental health. I was thinking about how happier I was on Sunday nights, how this group has really impacted me, so I want to each of you guys, and I wish I could hand you guys all a set of cookies right now, because I would if I could. Part of me again wanted to buy everybody Oreos and mail everybody Oreos, but again I was like, yeah, but then yeah.
Well,
So quickly before I go around,
well, can I say something, Nicole?
What?
Can I say something real quick?
Go for it.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Right, because I've almost did that several times tonight, including for Yaddle.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Nicole, 100%. As you guys know, a couple of weeks ago, it's like I had a hard week, and thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Spencer, for reaching out. Book club does. We don't just talk about books. We talk about our personal lives, and we help each other. Sometimes we, how can I say? We talk about a couple of hours, or sometimes three or 4 hours, and about 30 minutes of book club. But sometimes we talk about our personal lives, and we help each other. And it's fantastic. And I want to say thank you. And every Sunday, I look forward to our book club.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
I also wanted to say.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That
I'll just start turning on all the fans. All the fans. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. I also wanted to say that a big part of this book was about children and your circumstances and how everyone has the potential for great light or great darkness. But as Yaddle said, you choose your path. So, in that light, Nicole,
do I have to open these?
Whatever. Whatever color you get.
Open.
Whatever color you get, you choose. It
Did
doesn't
you hear
matter.
that, bro? He said I can still choose.
I don't know. Book club may have to end depending on if you
look,
get one.
there's the sorceress. We're
color.
not saying Dungeons and Dragons. I'm sorry. Do you feel Spencer's presence?
Although I will say this, it's not called Blue 5 Network. It's called Red 5 Network.
Yes. Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
So if you get red, it's actually your Luke Skywalker.
Skywalker, thank you.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker is blue. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. The package chooses, I guess. So I was just trying to sense in the force which one picked for me, and I just finally picked it. My poor best friend. I had her there for probably over 10 minutes. And I think this
hurry
is
up,
funny.
Nicole.
This is what cracks me up, though. Okay, for those again, I used to do Red 5 Tavern. Of course, Spencer's in the current campaigns and things like that. But she is very much light-sided, and she's very sorceress. So I'm hoping maybe now I'll have good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Bro, I'm sorry. I love you, man. But
Open.
I know I'm sorry. Okay, yes, I'm stalling. Okay, so again, beautiful, gorgeous Oreos. Again, if anybody wants me to find them, again, you can find these on Oreo.com. They will mail them to you.
Oh.
Same price as probably me mailing them to you. So just saying. Just saying. Okay. Yeah. That's his heart. God bless him. God bless Ro. He just wants me so much on his side, I swear.
Yes. He wants him to open more than anything.
Okay. This is why you need to be. All right.
I will
now,
fly
like
to
also
Chicago
make a
and
note
open
that
it
my
myself.
cats are balanced because I have Alphaba the Wicked and I have Glinda the Good. So this should be great. Here we go.
Bye, young.
Okay, I don't see him yet.
Oh.
All right.
And they are out. Well, Ro, I
yeah.
love you. But this Hufflepuff is more gray and blue.
Well, for starters, you do have to become a Jedi, then you turn into a Sith. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
Spencer, I'm telling you,
And she doesn't want to be a Jedi. She wants to be Leia.
Okay, can we talk about that though? Okay, so here's a good. You still love me, don't you, Ro? You still cry. So I have a question though for you guys though. Okay, this is a good question because Maul wasn't a Jedi, was he? He wasn't a Jedi, but he became the Sith.
Yeah.
And Ro, if you want in on this hot take, you sent me this link so you can hop in. That's a really good question. Thank you, Ubaldo. You brought it up. Isaac.
This is true. Blue does mean
yeah.
gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although that's kind of a compliment.
Ian
Lana's
can't
smart,
see what
so
Isaac just said, and I'm kind of scared to put it up on the screen.
I'll just say. Thrawn is smart, so I would
I'll
take that
just-
as a compliment.
Block it and turn off my volume.
No, I could post it. That wouldn't be fair. Hold up. I was waiting for it.
It's true.
True, Isaac. Very true.
Yeah.
Well, Ian.
Well, you did take the test.
Hey, what happens at book club stays in book club.
Well, I didn't say which test.
Oh Lord.
He can neither confirm nor deny the test that you took.
He can neither deny or confirm.
Thank you, Andrew.
anything.
Thank you, Andrew.
But I thought Ian would be excited about that.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, you were saying-
What was it?
Okay. Oh, what was the thing? You
Yeah.
didn't see that? He said Blue's also, that one
Oh.
character. Who must not be
That we
named.
all love.
See, I was going to mention that, but I did not want to affect your mental stability.
Aww. This, folks, is why I love my book club. And you can join us anytime.
And you may be recruited as Nicole's apprentice. Just saying.
An apprentice for good.
Yeah. I mean, I
She might teach you about the power of 2. Just saying.
did you not just hear me? I have a power too. I have Glinda the Good, Alphaba. But see, when no one mourns the wicked. I mean, Alphaba, though, she's such a sweetheart, though, at the same time. Just like Ro, he's a sweetheart. He just likes the dark side. I don't know. I mean, you guys are all good guys, and half of you guys are the Sith. So,
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
There you go.
Is what I heard Nicole say.
oh my god! Wow, what a way to turn that on me. That's not nice. But no, now that is a really good question, man. Ro, where are you? Seriously.
Now
You
he's
said,
stalling.
Ronaldo, that I would have to become a Jedi and then in order to become the Sith. But if Darth Maul was not a Jedi, then how did he become a Sith?
Yeah, it's not true. The Sith and the Jedi are both two separate orders.
Right.
And the Force is not just through those two orders. There's many different people that use the Force that are not Sith or Jedi.
Well, because Anakin was the Jedi, and then he became a Sith, but then he came back to the light.
It's just those are the characters we focus on that we see them turn.
That's true. That's true. Wow. This, folks, is why I love this book club right here.
Nicole, let's hear you yell Kenobi and see if there's any emotion there, and that'll help us.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
want me to
you're-
scream?
Kenobi. Let's hear you yell Kenobi, and we'll.
You want me to say
if
his
it's
name?
good.
Yeah, but
if
you
it's
gotta yell.
bad, Yeah.
Yeah, you guys do not want me to yell.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
bro.
is it? Are you more of like a Kenobi, or is it Kenobi? Like we need that. That'll help us determine.
Oh God.
That's
I don't want
our
to
scale.
like break your guys' eardrum. I don't think you guys understand. I know I could probably throw my voice if I wanted to.
Okay, I did the same thing. Headphones are off.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think you guys understand. Bro, I wish you were in the back and you'd be changing the volumes. They asked for this, people. Okay, let me see how do I want to do this.
She's actually going. All right. Give us a countdown so I know when to. Like.
It's gonna just happen, and when it's gonna happen. Okay,
Do it.
Kenobi. Kenobi. I mean, I could go Kenobi. I can do it so many different ways. Kenobi.
Yeah, you're not evil.
Like it's
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
not evil.
Kenobi.
That's
Kenobi.
Just
okay.
think about
That sounds
Darth
like you're getting his
Maul.
attention. It
And
sounds like you need help with
And
something.
Darth Maul just goes,
Kenobi!
Kenobi. Kenobi.
That sounds like Kenobi. Come here. I need your help. Not Kenobi. I
Kenobi.
want to kill you.
Whoa. I really almost went another way with that one. Never mind. We're not doing that. I'm not Duchess Satine.
Oh,
Oh,
now that's more sadness.
I know. Why
And
couldn't
now
they
that's
been together?
more
I
that they
wanted them
didn't
together.
mention her once in The Mandalorian. Like, what the hell was that?
I know. You know how badly I wanted those two together? And I was so sad. See, that's why I mentioned attachments earlier and differences, because I wanted to see him happy. And I felt like if he wanted
He
to
was
love,
happy.
he should have been allowed to love all the way like that, not just like,
see,
you know.
Rose Kenobi. That's if I was Kenobi, I'm scared. Nicole's Kenobi, I'm like, eh.
Okay, but here's the other thing though. Okay. And now if I went into work mode, if I go like
Yeah, your
Uh-oh.
manager
No, you're
voice.
definitely
your manager
the dark
voice is your
side.
evil voice.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't
See?
want
Oh.
that.
You're slowly
don't
turning.
want this.
Yeah.
You want
See?
this. And let
You're
me tell you how many
slowly
times I've done
turning.
this in front of a customer and said, no, have a great day. I stand very firm. Very firm. See,
Okay.
Have you ever said,
Nicole.
"Have a good day, my young apprentice"?
The next
Not yet.
bad customer you have, like really bad customer, I just want you to shout Kenobi in their face and see what happens.
They'd probably be like, "What is wrong with this lady? Who's Kenobi?"
And they would leave, most likely.
Yeah.
or they would start talking to me more, and then I'd be
Or
like, you gotta
they
go.
could say, "Let me speak to your manager," and Nicole
I
goes,
am the manager. Well, I'm one.
"Hey, how's it
I'm
going?"
not like the store manager. No, I think, man, I don't know. I guess I know that there are times when I'm like, I know I can switch it, and talk very stern. And I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid.
Yes. Yes.
need to
Use
sleep
your
with
It's like,
anger.
come to the dark
Yeah.
side.
I think I need
Use
to
your
sleep with one eye open.
anger.
We need to sleep with one eye open tonight, guys.
Use your anger.
Now the question is what would Andrew end up being? Ian's gonna be the light side. Andrew would
Oh,
probably
it's
be.
decided for me.
Oh,
I think you are. You're a Hufflepuff.
There's no debate there. There's no debate there. Let's be fair. There's no debate.
Oh,
Oh,
Ian's like, I was gonna be good, but now that I'm forced to be good, maybe I want to be bad.
that
this is also true.
actually
See,
fits with my personality.
That's exactly. So you don't challenge a puff either, because we will rise up in a certain way that we're like, yeah.
See?
Yeah.
That's what I say. Use your anger. You become more powerful.
It's not stronger. It's not more powerful.
We have got to record. We
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
Oh man.
Yes,
Okay.
Ian. Use your
Andrew, though.
anger.
Yes.
Would you
All
be
right.
evil?
You guys, if you can believe it, we are
No.
rounding up on over 2 hours. So congratulations. Normal book club time. So upcoming things for those who are listening this upcoming week, the week of June the 23rd through, we do not actually have book club next week. Now, if we wanted to do a regular hangout, we could talk about it separately. But in July, August through September, we're going to start our next trilogy. We're going to be doing the Aftermath trilogy, and the first outline drops on the 25th, the actual on the 5th. So be looking for that on Twix. It'll be dropping in the evening, though, of the 25th. So be looking for it in the evening time. But during through the day, I'll be actually dropping up quotes from the Living Force. Just really enjoying the adventures that we've been on. But I'm excited for the next set. I'm excited because I know that there's stuff in there from The Mandalorian that's now become canon. I'm excited to see now like how different it's going to be from this one to even the Heir to the Empire trilogy. I'm excited. I am excited. And anybody, including the creator of Red5, is more than welcome to join us to read the Aftermath trilogy.
I think it's interesting that we.
But
I think it's interesting that we, just read The Living Force, which chronologically in canon is the first book to come before The Phantom Menace. And now we're about to read The Aftermath, which is the first books to chronologically in canon come after Return of the Jedi. So just kind of frameworking Lucas's Star Wars. It's kind of fun that it worked out that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My cats are playing, and I don't know why. Anywho, I'm sorry, I heard odd noises. But no, I'm agreed, and I'm excited though. I'm excited. And then after in October, because this is going to lead us to fall, we will have, unless it is 100% for Spencer's pick, which is Dracula. If there are
I want your blood.
If there are suggestions, we will be dropping a bracket.
Blood is red.
End of August, beginning of September, so we can prepare for the month of October. And we're gonna either pick a scary movie or a good suspenseful or a good thriller or just something that brings us in the mood, in the spirit of autumn, of the spirit of the time, the spook, the fun of Halloween season. So yeah. So that is what's coming up in the Red 5 reading. Actually, this year's kind of rounding up. Haven't fully decided. I think we're starting to figure out exactly what we're going to already do for November and October, or at least I think I already have an idea. And we already have some decisions made for January, folks. Let me tell you, we have. So if you want to be a part of this group, if you want in on the decisions, you need to join us, and we'll get you in on our Discord, and you can join us. It's a really fun time. As you see here, we really have a good time beyond just reading the books. So send me a DM. Again, I'm Nicole at the Red 5 Reading Book Club on Twix, as well as Peace Love Fandoms, also on Twix. Let me go around the room and thank you again for each person for coming in today. Side note, thank you, Ro, for jumping in and helping me last minute, because I literally had a moment where I thought I was going to lose my stuff when I realized I might not have been able to finish the show today. So starting off with Andrew, where can we find
first
you?
off, Nicole, I want to thank you. Well, I was going to start off by saying thank you, Nicole, for putting all this together. It's been a lot of fun reading with you guys this year. You could find me if you put in Andrew Haley 05. You could find me anywhere. I'm everywhere. Any social media, you can find me there. Keep it easy. On Monday and Thursday nights on the Geek News Now official YouTube channel at 8:30 CST, 9:30 Eastern. We talk Marvel on Monday. So right now, since there's not really any new Marvel stuff coming out until Deadpool and Wolverine, we're going through Daredevil. We're in season 2 right now, so we're just covering that.
That's cool.
On Thursdays right now, we are, of course, talking The Acolyte, which has been interesting. I'll put it at that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think whenever I watch this show, I'm gonna like it, and I just bet I'm gonna like it.
Nobody say nothing. Nothing.
Nothing. No spoilers.
No
Okay.
spoilers.
No spoilers. And if you watched last Thursday's show, Spencer won something pretty cool. You want to tell him about that, Spencer?
Well, yeah, it was a poster, right? A really nice art
of the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
So you're getting 2 posters. I have to still send yours to you.
It's actually
posters. Which one?
It's like 4 or 5 because it's one for each character, I think.
Oh,
from which
Ooh, nice.
I think is their original designs, right?
Yes, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Bad Batch posters are gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is one done by a particular artist. It was a really nice style.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
Yeah, really cool. So yeah.
But yeah, you all do awesome stuff over there on Geek News Now. So definitely go check it out.
Sweet.
All right, Spencer, what you got coming up?
Oh man. Well, you can always find my right down there over at the Dingus Den. I do all sorts of fun comic stuff. I need to still get around to editing another video that me and Ian are part of, but you could go check out part 1 of it now. Yeah, no, I've been lazy. I'll say it right now. I've been lazy, but it's coming eventually, and so that's happening. Because we did the beginnings of Chris Claremont's X-Men, and so it turned out to be a huge thing. The rest split it up into 2 parts, and I haven't finished part 2 yet. But part
Because
one's
I
out there.
talked a lot. I know we're shocked.
Lots of great discussions there, and so go check that out and keep an eye out for more upcoming comic club stuff, as I am working on trying to do some more stuff there. And also, as Nicole brought up earlier, Red5 Tavern, I'll be there Friday for another session, as we actually just started season 3, and so we had a very special premiere for episode 1 of, or chapter 1 of season 3 last Friday. We had Brad joined us playing a brand new character. He was amazing, and so it's awesome to have Brad back on board. And oh
hilarious picture. Hilarious picture.
And great character too. He had
Yep.
me laughing like the entire time with just a smile on my face. And so I have some amazing times Friday nights. They were absolutely so much fun to be had. So definitely go check out the Red5 Tavern.
All right, Ian.
Ian.
I have nothing. If you want to talk to me, come to book
You're
club,
off the
then.
grid.
Yeah. If you want to see Ian, you want to meet with him, want to talk to him, please come join the Red5 Reading Book Club.
There you go. Exactly.
I got you. All right, Ubaldo.
I'm always on social.
You and Darth Vader.
Guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm mostly on the socials, talking with everybody on the chat. Of course, here with the book club all the time. So you'll catch me. You see my name there. So if you see me in the chat, say hello. Be glad to. And I once in a while join everybody else on their chats with Spencer, Andrew. So I'm everywhere.
Well, thank you again to everybody that's come to visit in our chat tonight. For those who are watching later, thank you for joining in, and please hit that like and subscribe button. Remember that you can check us out at the Red5 Reading on Twix, as well as biolink/Red5, where you can catch not only the Red5 Book Club, but as well as the Red5 Tavern and many other wonderful podcasts. And that would be my cat, who is making all that ruckus. The one who's the sorceress and brings good, who I think pretty much just changed those Oreos, because there's no way, I feel like they might have been a different color beforehand. Anyways, thank you again for everybody for joining us tonight, and may the force with you. And again, I will see you the next time on the Vice. Bye, good night.
Bye.
If I can get it to work.